Hi everyone, you're with Journey Now and I'm Amber.
And I'm Heidi, and we are outside in the elements today, surrounded by beautiful water and nature, and Gaia herself is with us. And the video topic is wonderful and perfect for our setting. We're doing a video today on the elements and on the Schuman resonance, and we'll be doing an activation with and for Mother Gaia as well. Well, we are going to be speaking about various things going on within the elements and the Schuman resonance.
So I'm just going to start off by saying, and this is actually coming from Gaia herself, and what she's wanting to share with you is, if you can take into heart, she says, and envision the world right now, the chaos, she doesn't want to say like disruption or anything like that. She just terms it as the movement,
and she calls it the events taking
place happening, in this planetary evolution, because she says Earth is constantly as well processing, shifting, expanding. And if you can think about the Earth's natural ability to sort through and process and evolve, you got to take into account the elements: the water, the wind, the fire, the earth. And in doing so, that natural ability that Gaia has to take care of herself and go through these times, no matter what they look like, we too have the ability to tap into Mother Nature's frequency. She's saying like first aid kit or care package or whatever. So tapping into those frequencies with Mother Earth can really be an amazing healing process for us.
And that's what grounding is really all about. We really need to do that grounding work for ourselves, as well as collectively for Gaia and for the universe, because it all works as a whole. And when we affect one, we affect the other. So we're going to begin by talking a little bit about Gaia and the Schuman resonance. If you aren't familiar about the Schuman resonance, it really is talking about the biosphere of the Earth, the planet itself. And we consider it, because we're talking with Gaia today, we really consider it as her heartbeat, or we can look at it as her aura. That's another way to look at it. And it's really the way that she vibrationally and with frequency exists and speaks out to all of her many inhabitants, whether they be human, whether they be plant, whether they be animal. That frequency is her communication, and it is her ability to feed us healing and light and love that allows us to, number one, exist here. Number two, allows us higher insights and understandings of our own higher dimensional capabilities and our higher spiritual connections. It allows us access to healing. And she uses that Schuman resonance to speak to us all. And this is also part of her message and work with the elements, because the elements on their own have effect on the Schuman resonance. So when we work with each individual element, we connect to and we allow connection with our own fields of energy, our own light source, to be connected with hers. She's saying two hearts become one, two souls become united. And this is the goal and the aim as a species and as a energetic makeup of the living light systems, is to feed off of each other's interconnections.
And if you look at the elements separately, she's saying earth, ground is healing, it's growth, it's life. Then moving towards the water, we have that lovely movement, that clearing, that cleansing, the emotional encumbrance. Moving to the wind, that is going to really flow throughout your frequency. They're saying central frequency vortex. That's really going to help with moving the old out and bringing the new in. They're referring to Chinooks as that warm breeze coming through and just moving everything along at a nice, slow, even pace, and then into fire, which is resurrection.
Yeah, rebirth. Crumbling of the old systems and
breaking
ways.
Down.
Yeah.
And when you combine all of the elements and their properties together, we have this fabulous compartment of energetic, perfect pureness that we are all a piece of, that we can utilize for our own self-work, our own self-development, in whatever we're looking to take on, because it's up to you what you take on in this lifetime. Like, you do have a set life path that you came here, and certain goals to achieve, certain gifts and abilities, but we do have free will, and it is up to you where you're at, what you're comfortable taking on.
Yeah, and it's hard to even look at the screen right now because I'm just staring at birds. There's pelicans and geese and all kinds of living animals. And we actually have all the elements with us. You know, it's a really, really gorgeous sunny day here. We're sitting at 31 degrees. We're in the water. We're surrounded by beautiful, beautiful isolated land. And it's just filled with the living species of Gaia. And they're here with us. They're going to take part as well within the gifting of the activation that we give out at the end of this video, which is coming from ourselves, our guides, and from Gaia as well for the collective. And she's wanting to talk more about her heart and her light and the Schuman resonance. And she sits, generally speaking, for the norm at 7.8 hertz. And she's talking about the times that we're in and the shift that is not avoidable. It's already happening, and the way that we all play into this shift, and in part we can see playing out with the disruptions and the differences and the chaos playing out on the planet. If we follow her resonance patterns, we will see anomalies in her hertz that she's giving out. And there's actually anomalies, blackouts and whiteouts that are showing up within her graph and her resonance and her biosphere. This is her raising her own frequency and her own light ability to hold the light, that is allowing the shift from 3D dimensions to 50. You know, we go up through the layers, 4D, 5D. It doesn't stop at 5D, guys. Like, people, I know we always want to say like the shift from 3D to 5D, but don't, she's saying, limit yourself to that dimension only, because every evolution, there is always more evolution to be had. We don't ever stop evolving. And so too is her biosphere, her chemical compounds, her sonar abilities to feed frequency and information. As her consciousness capabilities change the same way ours do, this is where the anomalies are showing up on her graphings, and this is where anomalies are showing up within the climatized regions geographically, and they also are affecting, you know, all of the many factors, all the many platforms. Basically, her resonance is causing effect to everything within her being, and as well as that, this is also having a cause and effect within our own DNA. because the Schuman resonance connects, she's saying, to the right side of the brain. And if it wasn't for her Schuman resonance, this has been the process of our evolution since the dawning of us as a species here. We have constantly been in this state of elevation and change and acclimation to new frequencies, and as we do so, it is actually changing our DNA structures, allowing for us to rise with her resonance within our own energy fields and our own aura and our own light body capabilities.
I can't wait to do this activation, as Gaia herself is so naturally capable of recognizing energy frequency of her own betterment, or where she should be and where she needs to be, and self-adjusting to that as we take in nature and delve in and spend time in nature. We are offered that healing gift to resonate within ourselves, to hold us at a more comfortable level and help us to ascend. And she is saying, as Gaia always, forever, will be constantly evolving and adapting for survival, so does humankind, because we are a part of her and we will always be connected to her, and she is always here to support us. And they are showing me a mother with her nurturing abilities and what a mother wouldn't do for her child.
Yeah, that's truly like the Gaia heart, the Gaia way. She doesn't abandon anyone, and she always has unconditional love, and she always understands that there is room for growth with any being. And we have out here, this is my heart chakra singing bowl, and I'm going to be playing that to help connect our activation with Gaia and to help send out higher frequencies to everyone watching and allow them to really work with Gaia in the process of evolution, because we're seeing so much in the world today that she wants us to, she says, avert from the crises, please. And just because these crises exist, she says, please do understand that these were always going to happen. These were within her blueprinting and her alignments, and there would be no way to avoid them. They are necessary components of our rising up into new dimensional capacities. And this is her wish and her desire, just like it is ours. And so we work together here today within this activation for the collective of unity consciousness.
And so she's saying, starting with the earth element, our root chakra, as these events on planet Earth are taking place, we as people have a tendency to feel that emotional part of it, whereas Gaia just simply is and resonates with it.
She goes with the flow.
Yes, we as people take on the heaviness of that emotional field. So starting with the earth element, we will begin our activation.
And I'm just
for
gonna
you.
fine tune here to the heart chakra and let that ring out
everything
across the
attuned
water.
to the heart.
Yeah, and the water is actually going to carry this frequency to even all the people who are not awakened within this entire landmark. All around me is, across the lake, cabins and unconscious beings. So this is the beautiful thing about Gaia and our ability as light workers to help the one and the all, is we can send healing to even those subconsciously who are unaware of any of these happenings. We can send it out, and there's no better conduit for the healing love of Gaia right now than water when we're talking about emotions and the heart. And we could just talk through this.
I'm envisioning sending these cords of frequency rippling out onto the water towards the collective. And as we're falling into that heart space, taking a deep breath in preservation. Mike eri irian nukuri wahai iri. Irian kai inianto brari. And allowing the earth to absorb and release any pain, fear, lack. Mariante iri kuuri brariate.
And we have the Pleiadian energies at play here, as well as Syrian and Dromedans. So we're just giving them acknowledgement for their contribution.
He iki iria, Kenya, Kenya,
Branania sonokuria nyamana sanania nasa kuturia nyania na manaria nasa tuturia na daturia na
Mariante and as the earth takes on those emotions of lack, of pain, of dis-ease, of fear, we bring in the water element to clear.
water element is my personal favorite.
To wash away.
Being that I'm Cancer and highly Pleiadian, I just love the water. It's such an emotional gift to us.
And it's such a high source of connection and information. The water is so reflective of so much knowledge, so many different, it's like the diamond frequency, so to speak. It's just,
yeah, it's
all encompassing.
gorgeous. And I mean, they're the Pleiadians. We've got Ashtar here, and Arya, and they're saying the Pleiadians play a key role in the human emotion spectrum, and how we come down to a lower density to have the lower vibrational aspects of the emotional spectrum, and how this is actually, as much as it may suck to be in the lower density emotions, it truly is a gift of enlightenment that allows us attunement and allows us to seek affirmations that give us higher consciousness within our lives.
And water is such an amazing tool to work with when we're thinking about doing, because it's so reflective, it's reflective of self. It's very good for past life connection, shadow work, releasing,
Beautiful and dreaded shadow work.
processing, deep thought, so to speak. So bringing in that water element now.
We'll just let that ripple out. Across the lake. Carry it on the waves.
And as those ripples get smaller and smaller, they are merely expanding further and further, higher and higher. Marianti i kaanianto wari marianto wahaeri ki ini tu uri praria tu ka aria ne eski iri bianca tu bi ate eski
Tarianu, Naria Namakaturia, Samakanaya, Aranaturia, Samanaya.
Mari Mahei. And they're saying, as far as the eye can see, there is no end. Life, existence is constant and everlasting.
Ever flowing, ever changing. Breathe in and just let that frequency sit within your heart. Breathe out. And they're saying, and with that, shall we bring in the air, the wind. The wind, you guys, again, so there isn't one element its own ability to sit within your cellular makeup for specifically chosen codes.
So they're reminding me of, do you remember that show that used to come on, and I think it was called like the Earth Rangers or something?
How was it, Power Rangers?
No, it was a different show. I think it was like a cartoon, the Earth Rangers or whatever, and they were different elements, but they had to come together, united with their own separate elemental powers, coming together to work as a whole. To fight the...
That makes the team, that makes the collective, that makes it a higher structure and a higher... It allows you to deliver, when you work with them all combined, a higher frequency is what Gaia is saying, and a higher resonance that goes up universally into the alignments that we have all been having as a goal within Earth's basically since her birthing point, that she has always been looking for these particular alignments for herself as all of us, and we would not be able to receive the full of it if we didn't work with all four equally.
Yes, they definitely balance each other out, and balance is key when we're talking about alignment, which is key in our attunement. So again, let's bring in that beautiful air frequency.
And air is so wonderful. The wind that creates storms and change. The wind is wonderful for change and removals, transmutations, and removing what is no longer serving us, carrying that away and allowing for new birth, new life, new creations is what Gaia is saying, because when she's saying when she cleans house and she uses the element of air, buildings move, right? We get tornadoes and hurricanes. I mean, it really is a powerhouse at change. So if you're looking for change in your life, physical change in your reality, change in your living circumstance, any type of change whatsoever, change in your relationships, please do, she said, call on the element that is the air. Now we have some blue avians around us. Quite a diversity of galactic beings surrounding us for these activations, all like wanting to play their part in helping to give out this healing and this coding. And the blue avians, I always get Thoth or Thoth, however you like to pronounce it, is speaking of birds and their ability to fly great distances, and always having that capability, that innate capability within them, that homing system to return home. And in his reference to home, that is the higher dimensions and the light and the living light, that is source energy, that as souls we are like the birds, he says. Always within us is that ability to return home to the light.
Yes, and they're referring to it like as the bird flies easier with the breeze.
Yeah.
And they're saying to connect with that air element.
Not to be always flapping your wings and doing the work, but to really use those currents and those pockets.
You can use the air frequency to help aid you in picking up on those guidance signs, the symbols to jump you forward or blow you a little bit faster towards a specific sign or destination.
The sailboat doesn't go anywhere without Yeah, in a very organic way of doing things is what Thoth is saying. I call him Thoth. I actually go back and forth though with Thoth. Doesn't require mechanics or technology. It is such an organic modality of change that it is completely natural to us, that we don't have to work for it. We simply use it when it's available.
And now they're just giving me a little bit of a thought here on the rain. As the rain falls, it brings new plant life and back to life, sprouts, feeds and quenches the thirst. But you can think of that too as with us, with our tears. Without the crying, there is not that release for a renewing.
The cleansing and the release and the transmutation, allowing a new experience, a new timeline, which is what we're all seeking.
And now fire.
And lastly, fire, the beautiful element of fire.
And already it's like rapid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we can see that playing out big time on the planet, in Canada alone right now, with so much wildfires going, more than one at a time. Like, it's just this ongoing flame. They're just showing me the smoke and the fire, and we don't need to get into the why or the when or the how of it. Gaia is saying just that it is necessary. No matter how it came about, it was always going to be this way. And many of us as sensitives and empaths have been aware of the times that we're sitting in and actually where they're going to go. And so we fully understand that, as it may look so negative and even be caused by negative agendas, or feel like how on earth would Gaia ever allow this much burning of her own surface and her own infrastructures and her own creatures, because we're seeing the death of animals and the ecosystems that are a huge part of her. And she says, but this was by design, and it was necessary, and will continue to be necessary for some time to come as we collapse the old, using all the elements at play, and we rebirth the new earth.
Yes, and so there's encouraging looking at this frequency of fire with love and appreciation. And they say fire provides warmth in the cold and light in the dark.
Actually, it allows us to do many of our higher technologies as well, with lasers, even just going back to caveman and the flame, and allowing us cooking technologies. I mean, there's always good and bad to every side, and so fire is a huge component of technology, and also will continue to be so with higher technologies and advancements in laser technologies and light rays and all of the spectrums that we're going to see coming up within the medical systems in 5D. That are going to give us the higher creations and open up the scientific minds as well. Okay, so we're going to do our last ring of the bowl here and send that out to the fire element.
And now they are bringing all elements together. Unity consciousness. We are all
All right, guys. That's our video for today. It was lovely to be here with you out in nature, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.